Hi INFJs. Today let's have a heart-to-heart about something we rarely talk about, but most of us crave very deeply, and that's self-acceptance. Being an INFJ, it often feels like we're swimming upstream, trying to reconcile who we are with a world that quite often doesn't really seem to understand us. And while self-acceptance is possible, even though it doesn't always seem like it is, it's also very essential. And while the journey is deeply personal, it's worth taking. So today I want to share why self-acceptance feels so difficult for so many of us INFJs, and how we can accept who we are in ways that maybe you haven't tried or thought about yet. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself feel seen, heard, understood, and less alone. Plus, I wanted somewhere to share resources. So don't forget to check out the resources that I put in the description of this video. There's I'm getting quite a list of them now of things that I have found that have helped me, and I know it can help other people as well. So welcome to my channel. I'm glad you found it. I hope you find it helpful. If you're returning, I'm glad that you came back. I also help INFJs find and heal their self-love through coaching, classes, and community. All right, so let's get into it. Before we get into it, if you haven't yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I would really appreciate the support. Okay, so now let's get into this. Oh, that was a big mouthful. Why INFJs struggle with self-acceptance. Do you find that self-acceptance can be very difficult? I struggled with this for many years. I think my entire life until I was close to reaching 40 years old. I had a very low level of self-acceptance. For many years, I think I would say it was at zero. I hated who I was. One reason why many INFJs struggle with self-acceptance is the weight of our perfectionism. I think it's safe to say that most of us INFJs are recovering perfectionists. And what's interesting here is if you're autistic, high-functioning autism INFJ, you will struggle with perfectionism at a much deeper level than a neurotypical INFJ. So that's quite interesting. We will set high standards, like impossibly high standards for ourselves, even though we know we can't reach them. And when we fall short, even though we were well aware that we weren't going to reach these standards when we set them, we think it's an act of self-love and it's not, that inner critic will start up. And we'll start beating ourselves up about not being able to reach these high standards that we set for ourselves. But perfectionism often, what's really neat about perfectionism, often, it is our way to control how others see us. This is what we do. It feels like we're in control of how others will see us and accept us, although it actually doesn't work. But we use it anyways for some reason. We want to be seen as flawless, as perfect. We want to be accepted, right? But it doesn't serve us. So instead of having that showing up as a flawless you so that people will accept you, just try showing up. Change that perspective in your mind and start showing up just as yourself. We can't control how people see us. We can't control how people react to us. And if we can't control it, drop it. Drop that weight. I always picture it as a weight I'm actually holding on to, and I will actually just open my hands and I drop it because it's out of my control. What I can control is how I show up. I can show up as myself. And it's a lot easier showing up as ourselves than masquerading as somebody that we're not. Which leads me to my second point as to why self-acceptance is so hard is we live like chameleons. We are incredible at adapting to our surroundings, at wearing so many different masks, but it comes at a cost. This is a survival mechanism that we adopted years ago. For many of us, it started probably when we were really young, itty-bitty INFJs, but it really does come at a cost. When we do this, wearing so many masks, being so many people that we're not, we actually lose who we are. And if you're an INFJ and you've experienced identity crisis, which I know many of us have, this is why. It's because we mask so much. We develop this habit so deeply that from a young age that we don't even realize that we're doing it. So spend time reflecting on who you are. What lights you up? Who is it that you are? What is it that you like to do? And start leaning into those moments and reconnecting with your true self. Another reason why self-acceptance is so difficult or can feel so difficult is our overthinking and our self-doubt. If you're an overthinker like me, I always say that if overthinking was a Olympic sport, I would win gold. Hands down, I would win gold. Because I can overthink. I overthink about overthinking. It's horrible. Not so much anymore. I've kind of been able to control that quite well, actually. It's a win for me. Pat myself on the back. We are deep thinkers. We are constantly thinking. We're constantly thinking very deeply. That is just who we are. That is how we're naturally wired. At times it becomes obsessive. This can lead us to cycles of self-doubt, questioning our decisions, our actions, every interaction we have with people, right? So what do we do about this? Because this makes it very difficult to love who we are when you're caught in that spiral, and it's so exhausting. I hate being caught in that spiral of overthinking. When we catch ourselves spiraling down, what really works for me is stopping and asking myself, is this helping me? And being honest with my answer, it's not. Guarantee it's not. If it's in a dark overthinking spiral, I call it the dark spiral, it's not helping. It's going to keep you stuck. It's going to take your action away, and it's going to exhaust you. From there, once I identify, no, this is not helping me at all, then I ask, how can I make this help? What can I shift in my thought process here that is going to be more constructive for me, that's not going to pull me down this dark rabbit hole? Shifting perspective interrupts that cycle of overthinking, and it works really, really good. I've shared other ways, if you're an overthinker, on how to stop overthinking. Another great way, this is a little off, nope, it's not off topic, it's right on topic because it's to do with overthinking, but I use this one lots, is I get a timer and I set a timer and I allow myself to overthink for like 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. When that timer goes off, then I'll write everything down on a piece of paper, but I set another timer. So another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. And I just brain dump all my thoughts that I had while I was overthinking. And when that timer goes off, I grab the paper and I scrunch it up and I throw it in the trash can and I go do something that I enjoy doing, guilt-free. Works so good for overthinking. So good. You gotta throw it in the garbage. That's the key to it. I figured that out. So now I promised I would share some steps towards self-acceptance. This was huge for me. Oh, I hated who I was so much. And I did so much work on this. Some things worked for me, some things didn't. I like to use the less thought of ideas because, I mean, we can research online how can an INFJ love themselves. And there's many blogs, some written by INFJs, which are helpful. Many are not. And they share the same things over and over. So we'll find ourselves in this same pattern of trying the same things over and over again, and it's just not working. So I like to come at it from a different perspective because I had to break that pattern for myself in order to get to a level of self-acceptance. So one thing that I found worked really great, and this may sound a little corny, but it does work really good. Okay, so you know that saying when you're told there is nobody like you. Now, for me, that saying actually had a lot of negativity around it because people would say it to me in a tone of picking me apart and judging me. So be very careful with it. Another saying that goes along with this one that is my favorite that I like to use more is by Dr. Seuss, and it's "You have to be odd to be number one." I like that one much more, but I use this one that there is nobody like you because it is very common and most of us have heard it. Now, what I want you to do is truly own that saying. Either one of them, the Dr. Seuss quote that I shared or there is nobody like you. Your unique perspective, the depth of how we see the world is everything that makes me, you, all INFJs incredible. It makes us different. It was given to us for a reason. The world needs us to see it differently, and we need to share those perspectives with people because that's what we're meant to do. That's why we were given. It's a gift, even though it doesn't feel like it. It truly is. So for a week, and this is kind of where it comes in sounding a little bit corny, and it can feel very weird at first, but just stick with me for a second. For a week, I challenge you. I challenge you to write down 3 things that you like about yourself every single day for a week. And before you say, I can't find 3 things I like about myself, if you're serious about getting to a level of self-acceptance, find 3 things that you like about yourself every single day and write them down. Again, I said, it might feel weird because it will. Totally felt weird for me and I felt stupid doing it. It's a powerful way to shift your mindset. Powerful and easy way to shift your mindset. It can be 3 simple things like, I like my socks today. Something simple. Find 3 things. And as you do your 3 things, the next day it's going to feel easier and you're going to find 3 different things. And the next day it's even going to be easier and find 3 more different things and build on that. And you know what? After a week, if you find that this is really bringing up your vibration, it's making you feel good, continue it. Continue it because that's what you need to do. That's exactly what you need to do. Number 2 thing that I did to help get towards that level of self-acceptance that I desired is think back to who you were before you were told who you should be. Think back to who you were before you were told who you should be. This is crucial. Okay? What lit you up? We're reconnecting with that inner child. I don't know if you've done much inner child work, but it's crucial for self-love. So crucial. So what lit you up? What made you feel alive? Think back to when you were little. When you were a little INFJ, what did you love doing? What excited you? Reconnect with those passions because this can help you rediscover parts of yourself that you have forgotten. And those parts that you have forgotten are crucial to bringing you to a level of self-acceptance, self-love. The next thing, number 3, is create a self-acceptance ritual. Rituals help anchor us. And it can be something simple. Create one just for yourself. It could be something simple as lighting a candle while you affirm, I'm good enough. Today I'm good enough, and light a candle. Or whatever it may be. You know, maybe a ritual is to go for a little walk out in the forest and affirm something about yourself that I'm okay. I'm okay today. I'm going to do this. I'm strong today. I can do this. Has to be something just simple. Simple, right? Another thing that you can do for a ritual is, and this is really neat, is write a letter to yourself every month about what you're proud of, what you accomplished in that month. These little acts of self-love, these small, tiny acts of self-love, they don't sound like much, but they can have huge impacts. Trust me, it will work. Huge impacts when you just do little tiny bits of self-love throughout your day. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I invite you, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, like this video, feel free to share it. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help, and that's what it's all about. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I encourage you, if you're struggling with self-acceptance, self-love, try these. Just give them a try. Even if they feel awkward, you will see results if you keep going. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you real soon with another video. Bye for now.